Suspected NM serial killer indicted in 1989 murder of author's daughter. Paul Apodaca, 54, was indicted for 3 murders, including the shooting death of Kaitlyn Arquette, daughter of thriller writer Lois Duncan. In the late 1980s, young women in Albuquerque feared for their lives when a series of chilling murders swept the city. University of New Mexico student Althea Oakley, 21, was stabbed to death in June 1988 while walking home from an on-campus party, according to the Albuquerque Police Department. Months later, on September 9, 1988, 13-year-old Stella Gonzalez was shot and killed while she walked near Tingley Beach with a friend. The violent killings stopped until 1989, when Kaitlyn Arquette was fatally shot in the head while driving in downtown Albuquerque. After years of wondering who killed the 3 women, police finally got a break in July 2021 when UN police arrested 54-year-old Paul Apodaca on a probation violation, according to the Albuquerque Journal. While he was in custody, police said he confessed to killing the 3 young women and raping numerous other women, Kobe reported. Apodaca was homeless when he was arrested and told police about his deep hatred for women. He was convicted previously in 1995 of raping his 14-year-old stepsister. In August, a grand jury indicted Apodaca for Oakley's murder, and then in December for Gonzalez's slaying. On Monday, he was indicted for Arquette's death, which drew attention after her mother, "I Know What You Did Last Summer" author Lois Duncan worked tirelessly to find her daughter's killer, hiring a private investigator and penning the nonfiction book, Who Killed My Daughter. "When Paul Apodaca shot my sister, he murdered my family," Kaitlyn's sister Carrie Arquette told KRKE in August 2021. Carrie Arquette, who went on to become a criminologist because of her sister's murder, told KRKE her mother fought for justice for Kaitlyn until her death in 2016. "She is here, and she is looking down," Carrie Arquette told KRKE about her mother. Police said Apodaca had been on authorities' radar for a while and had information only the killer would know. Paul Apodaca is a serial killer in our view, and he picked his victims seemingly at random, but they all shared one trait. They were women, APD Deputy Commander Kyle Hartsock said. They were women in vulnerable circumstances at the time who were seemingly alone, and that was his only reason, opportunity and his own perceived hatred of females at the time, Hartsock said. Apodaca has yet to be officially charged for Arquette's murder. His attorney, Nicholas Hart, did not immediately respond to People's request for comment, but he told the Albuquerque Journal that his client seemed intoxicated and in need of medical attention when he confessed to the murders. "We look forward to the opportunity to show the court and a jury that Mr. Apodaca is not guilty of these allegations," Hart told the Albuquerque Journal in an email. Apodaca remains held in the Lee County Correctional Facility. The gruesome murders of 2 teen hitchhikers shocked an Orr community. 43 years later, police closed the case. Kirk Leonard Wiseman, 19, and Cynthia Lynn Frayer, 17, were shot multiple times in the head with a small caliber firearm. The skeletal remains of 2 teenage hitchhikers and a small dog were found near Lake of the Woods and the Dead Indian Highway in Oregon on November 17, 1978. There was evidence that Frayer had been sexually assaulted. Looking through belongings that were found at the scene, investigators found a letter from Frayer to her parents about her travel plans, as well as her hopes and dreams that never got mailed. The 2 teens had been hitchhiking in Washington State and Oregon and had plans to go to Crater Lake, a spot where Frayer always wanted to visit, when they vanished without a trace in September of 1978. There were multiple leads, multiple people they were looking at, said Detective Dan Towery at a press conference Thursday, but the murders remained unsolved for more than 40 years, until recently when the Klamath County Sheriff's Office announced that they finally closed the case. The case picked up steam in 2018 when investigators submitted multiple items of evidence to the crime lab, including Frayer's clothing. A year later, they were notified of the presence of male DNA on her clothing. The sample was entered into the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS, but didn't hit on a suspect in the National Felon Databank. Investigators reached out to Virginia-based forensic service Parabon Nanolabs, which uses DNA and genealogy to help solve, gave law enforcement a possible suspect, Ray Whitson Jr., in the summer of 2021. Investigators soon learned that Whitson died in Texas in 1996, but 2 of his children agreed to provide DNA samples, which later confirmed that DNA found at the crime scene belonged to Whitson. Investigators said Whitson moved to the Klamath Falls area in 1978 with his family and worked in a nearby lumber mill. He had gone camping in the area where the bodies were found. Investigators said family members also confirmed that Whitson carried around a .22 caliber pistol, the same type of gun used in the slayings. At that point, based on our suspect Mr. Whitson being deceased, we have suspended the case at this time. Based on his DNA being on the female victim's body, Towery said at the press conference. We have been able to bring closure for a family, Klamath County District Attorney Eve Costello said at the press conference. Because when somebody dies and you don't know really what happened, you just know they left this universe in a really awful way. It leaves you with a huge hollow feeling. This work has allowed that family to have some degree of peace. Costello said after reviewing the case that if Whitson was alive, we have enough to charge. Pennsylvania woman traumatized after boyfriend finds human remains beneath the home she's lived in for 5 years. The unidentified remains were discovered Thursday afternoon while the homeowner's boyfriend was down in a crawl space to fix a plumbing issue. A Pennsylvania couple discovered human remains while performing maintenance on plumbing beneath their mobile home Thursday, prompting a death investigation by state troopers. Tracy Dowds has lived in her Ohioville residence for about 5 years, so it comes as no surprise that news of the remains shocked and horrified her. I've felt weird since I've been here and I didn't know why. She told KDKA about her home. Dowds told the outlet that on occasion she would smell something foul, but never thought much of it until her boyfriend returned from a crawl space beneath the home and said, "Tracy, you're not going to believe this. I think there is a dead body under there." Ohioville police and state troopers were called to the home, where they found the body in an extreme state of decomposition, according to a Pennsylvania State Police incident report. Investigators have not yet determined a manner of death or verified the identity of the deceased individual. As for the residents of the home, we're a little traumatized, but it will be over soon, Dowds told KDKA, adding that sleeping in the residence felt eerie the night after the discovery.